My name is Hans Forsberg. On my 6th birthday, my parents gave me the most wonderful gift, an electric construction kit. And this started a lifelong passion for electronics, mechatronics, and robotics. I'm a senior experienced hardware and software developer today, and I'm happy enough to have spent the 3 or 4 last years together with colleagues that are brilliant data scientists. So I've tried to find a quite pragmatic implementation prototype role in the domain of sort of applied machine learning or embedded AI. On my daily basis, I work for a company called AFRY. We were formerly known as OF. That's 17,000 consultants. And I work with a team of 35 or 30 data scientists and other full stack developers. We are developing a platform called Floity that can detect, classify, track, analyze flow of objects like people, vehicles, or anything we can come up with for the neural networks that is doing the classification. I could talk for hours about this, and I normally do, but today I'd rather speak about my hobby project. That is how I explore natural intelligence in the backyard of my house. And that is, I have trained wild birds to trade litter for food. And I would like to show you how I'm planning to take this project one step further with some pragmatic hands-on machine learning based techniques. And that would be sort of hardware related and just what we were asking for at Kerstin's speech in the beginning. But I think I have to go first to just show you how this all came together. And the first thing I had to build was, of course, a bird food dispenser or a bird feeder, an autonomous thing. And I created this just to gain attention to the site itself. So I've been doing this for several years now to gain this stage I am in today. And then I had to redesign all this to make it more weatherproof, more reliable. And so I had a fully automated, computerized, remote controlled, video surveilled bird feeder. But for what? So after several interesting experiments with buttons and Pavlov-like experiments, I finally came to the idea that maybe I could teach this bird to bring something for the food. And I started with an idea of bottle caps. So as you can see on this image, there is like a big hole in the center of this board. And in the bottom of that, there is a dedicated, I designed a small metal detector. And the idea is that if the bottle cap will fall down into this funnel structure, I will trigger that event and start the bird feeder. And my idea or vision was to see if the bird could sort of by mistake do this and find the correlation. And now it's really shortcutted here. I spent years or at least months and weeks for this. But this is what it looked like when they finally started to be brave enough to experiment. So this is a critical video clip that I collected. And I think they now do this more by mistake, but now it starts to look like some idea of, okay, that was a good thing for free food. And so this was magic. And then I took it one step further and redesigned the machine again. And instead for having the bottle caps very close, I spread them out in the garden on the lawn actually. And this is another key moment. So because this is a first recorded event where the magpie is actually doing something smart. So you see definitely the magpie has an idea and it's trying to put the sort of the payment as close to place where the reward comes as possible. And that is quite natural if you think of how nature works. Where you kill the stuff, that's where you eat it or something like that. But then finally, the magpie tries another slot and it will get its reward. And it's also a nice pick here. So that's a good day on the job or on the hobby for me. And with this experience, I realized, okay, that's a tick in the box. It's actually working. So I could take the whole idea and redesign it even to a more slick and slim design. And this is almost what it looks like today. And I've been running these experiments, ever since. Okay, so what about AI and machine learning? Well, I would like to take this one step further, at least, and train the birds to pick up other trash, or even like cigarette butts, soda cans, or even those for you Swedes who know about the mördarsniglar. There's a special species of slug that is messing with what we grow in our gardens. And that would be really cool if the birds could pick up these little pests and bring them to the table for food. We'll see. But I'm quite familiar with hardware, as I said. So looking into this, what I need is a general purpose object detection device. And we've already designed stuff like that in my job at AFRY. And we also used accelerating chip that is dedicated hardware that Chestin was talking about. There are some really interesting chipsets evolving right now for this kind of applications. And I've been using some of them, like the Google Corral. And then I'm quite familiar with those tools that Chestin was talking about, like TensorFlow, Café, PyTorch, Keras, etc. But it is tricky. You need to be a great software coder. You need to know your Python. You need to have all the dependencies on your Linux computer correct, etc. And I'm not that guy really. I have colleagues who master this. So I looked into some other opportunities, and this is really cool because these are AI or machine learning tools for the man on the street, for you or for anyone. It's your kid could do it, kids could do it. And to the left, you see an initiative from Microsoft called the Lobe AI tool. And to the right, it's something called the Teachable Machine from Google. I guess there are more tools now. These are quite old, but not that famous. But they are extremely easy to use if you want to go for like image classification. And as you can see for Google, you can even classify poses and sound. And you just bring the data. And you don't have to care about the resolution of the data, the number of pixels, etc. Just throw the data in. And you need to, of course, to annotate the data. You need to tell the data what stuff it is. But then it's just drag and drop, and you click on the train button. And under the hood, marvelous things will be done, training a neural network. And in some cases, the system even picks a suitable neural network for your task. So this is cool. And I started with this. And these systems also can export the trained neural network into hardware, like embedded stuff, or these accelerators. In this, like the famous Raspberry Pi, the Coral accelerator from Google, the neural compute stick from Movidius or Intel, or the Jetson NX, or the Jetson. So I tried this out, and what I had to do was to experiment with a cigarette butt, soda, or bottle cap classifier, was actually to just create a set of images that had these different objects inside. And I also messed up with a lot of noise. So you see these sticks and stones and grass and stuff. And I also had the bottle caps outside the bowl. It is not full. I mean, it's not the the most advanced neural network training, but the system is making several very smart decisions inside that helps you. So, and we often talk about tens of thousands of images. You need tons of data. In this case, I used, I think it says 78 images overall, and I still came out with a quite good solution. You can see on the bottom here, when the network is trained, you can just drag and drop your test images into it to see whether it's capable of giving you the correct answer. And if you get a wrong answer, you can correct the data just hands-on, interactively. So it's super simple, and this is Lobe AI, and the Google tool is very, very similar. I don't know which of them are best. So I did this just half an hour or something it took, and I trained it for those with those 78 images. And then I exported the neural network into a Raspberry Pi. And you can see to the left, this is more geeky now, but so this is just a terminal window from Linux. And you can see that it's classifying correctly down here. And I can have that running again. So that's the bottle cap. You will get the cap down here. It's quite quick. Even I think you can choose for speed or accuracy. So I think I picked accuracy. But so this is a standard Raspberry Pi for 500 crowns that you buy at Shell & Company, and it can give you quite advanced classification. You can't do this with traditional image recognition. You can, but you can't even get close to this accuracy. And it's very noise. It can suppress noise. It works in very many lighting conditions. Maybe not trained by 78 images, but if I increase this to a few hundreds or even thousands of images, the model will be even better and better. So this is for all of you who are interested in experimenting with classification neural networks. It's fun and it's easy, or you could do it with your kids. And it also tears down some of the, I would say, walls. And maybe you think, oh, that's too complicated. Maybe you're almost scared to try this out. It's super simple. And I really encourage you to try something of this out, because it really opens up opportunities for a lot of applications. So it's going to be interesting to see whether the cigarette butts and soda can stuff, if it will gain the same attention as the bottle caps. I have, I think, over 5 million views on my YouTube channels. There are 30 million plus on different TikTok channels, etc. So it's really gone viral. And yeah, that's what I was planning to tell you for my 10 minutes. So thank you for me.
Thank you very much. I have a question. Have your neighbors, noticed any bottle caps in their gardens, or?
Well, I would say that maybe the second or third most frequent comment on the YouTube channel is why do you drink so much beer and stuff like that? And of course, we don't have litter spread in that way out here in Sweden or in Scandinavia or in Gothenburg. But so I have to plant bottle caps in the morning. I hide them over different places. But I have, I think, 3 or 4 magical caps that is not mine. It's not my brand of beer. So, so the birds definitely have picked them somewhere else. But on the other hand, the magpie family life is quite, it's quite cozy. They stay in a rather small territory, so they won't go that far to look for litter in this case. But yeah, so that, but it's no, my neighbors haven't complained. But on a live stream, several hours long, just a few weeks ago, one of my viewers had looked through the whole live stream for several hours and found a rat at hour number 3 or something. And then he found the same rat, I guess, on another live stream. And of course, they're also supposed to be smart, right? So maybe I could train them to exchange litter for food.
Whoa.
That might draw some attention to my garden that my neighbors, and maybe not I either, is that interested in. But it's an interesting experiment too.
If you can do that, you have a viral hit #2, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I think you took the AI into a next level, from artificial intelligence to animal intelligence.
Yes.
I really, yeah.
It's interesting. I have a kind of a pen pal, a professor in Stockholm, Johan Lind, who I contacted early. I read one of his scientific articles. That was one of the things that made me interested in the project. And in the beginning, I was more politely answering, but after a while, I got more and more interested in this. And when I read his scientific reports about sort of animal intelligence, they are full of terms and definitions that I thought was invented or created for artificial intelligence. So those like reinforcement learning, that's been used for decades when you study intelligence among animals, I understand. So there are, of course, similarities.
Great. Thank you very much, Hans.